Agud Voch Raboisai. You know what we're going to do tonight? I'm going to ask everybody to say their name. I don't think there's a single guy here from Bet Shemesh, an original. Oh, there's one guy. You'll also say. We'll start from you. What's your name? Shalom Aleichem. Your name. We're going to go quickly. Shalom Aleichem. You know what? Where are you guys from? Bergenfield.
Originally Israel, about 35 years in Toronto.
Toronto. From Bet Shemesh next door. Chas. From Manchester. Next, what's your name? What? From where? Bet Shemesh. Gishmak. You're all from Bet Shemesh? Shalom Aleichem. Dave, what are you doing here? It's Gary up there. Okay. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? Bet Shemesh. You? Wow. Is that you, Hillel? Yeah. Hillel, you don't count. Next, doctor. Oh, we got a bunch of. What's your name?
Harry Fox, Fairlawn, New Jersey.
Is this crazy? We have. Well, you know what? If you're a guest, raise your hand. What is that? That's a lot of guests. Next. Oh, Rabbi Kelaty's here. Hold on. I got to show you what it says on the. Tonight's pizza sponsor, Levy Ben Moshe Kelaty. Shkoya. Someone should have an aliyah. Who's that? Oh, that's Menachem Ateh. Okay, Shalom Aleichem. Well, you're a guest. Did you raise your? You're not a guest. You raised. What's your name? From? Related? No. Two guys from Bergen. You guys, what's your name? Oh, the chassan is here. Shalom Aleichem. Next. From? Muncie. You? Lakewood. It's Lakewood. Yishkoyach.
Lakewood. My Shirla.
Really? You also? Oh. Queens, New York. I like Lakewood though. I was born there.
Sorry.
How's our friend from Biderman doing? Yeah. Wow. A guy from the Shir. What's his name again? Are we allowed to say his name? You just said it. Okay, but his scans are clear. He's young. He just got married. Mom just got married. Okay. Who else? Zechariah Feldman from Philadelphia. Oh, really? Are you coming back to Shir, to the Hebrew? Better. What's your name? What's this guy next to you from Queens? What's your name? Rabbi Shon? Oh, Rabbi Shon from London. Okay, anyway, you're shtickle guest. What's your name? Rabbi Kaufman from Muncie. But what are you doing here? That's what it was. So you're here on vacation? Wow. That's your son. What's your name? Moishi. Shalom Aleichem and Moishi. Who else? The Olam is back. Okay. You're kind of who? You're hiding over there. What's your name? Woman. Once doesn't count. Even 2 years sometimes doesn't count. And Baruch Shafin is here. No, he's not here. What's your name? From? Wow, another Liquider. Okay, Givaldi. I think we got them all. What's your name? From? You're from Philly. It's one of the first Philly guys ever. What's your name? You're also what? Shalom Aleichem. Very nice. Okay, there's a lot of guests. Givaldik. We're going to learn also a little bit, eventually. This is in Hebrew. I'm just going to read this real quickly. He says, I don't know if you're going to read my email. And I'm a Rebbe in Cheder. I went to Yeshivas Baruch Hashem. And I finished with you Cheskas Sabatim. It's the first time in my life, I'm 37 years old, that I understood Cheskas Sabatim clearly and with a lot of fun. And from the beginning of Bava Basra. It's not so, okay, not just Cheskas, from the beginning of Bava Basra. I love the whole MDY thing. He wants to come here. I learned a lot more than the 60 daf. I learned other stuff as well. Should continue. Brios not. I just like the fact that he's a Rebbe in Cheder. Yosef Chaim Buganim. I forgot how they say it in Hebrew. Shchunat Ramot Yerushalayim. Hello, Rebelli. This is not your typical Daf Yomi email. It might even be controversial, he says. I don't know why. Mom can't figure this part out. This is typical. We get this every single day. Controversial. So I understand that if you don't want to read it in public, say that maybe he's saying B'dafka said I read it. I don't know. But I figured it might inspire anybody that's on the same boat as me. I went through the yeshiva system for 10 years and never made a siyum. Interesting. Is it controversial so far? Here, Yom V'Layla. I was introduced to your share by a friend almost 2 years ago, and I can proudly say I've made 10 siyumim and counting, including some twice. I mean, I remember everything I learned, but your jokes, I do remember. May Hashem give you the strength to continue what you do. P.S. I grew up in Passaic, so you may know my family. Sincerely, Shlomo Junger. What? Which part? The jokes?
No, that's
why is that controversial? That's mamish normal. That he remembers the jokes is also, that might be covered. Who remembers jokes? Huh?
Everyone remembers your shit.
I don't remember it. How does he remember? I had a story like this. And this, I got an email from a guy. When I was in Oxnard last week, it was exactly a week ago. So there's a young couple there. How do I know? They just got married. Because who brings their wife to shul Friday night? And he kept on going to the mechitza, back, forth, checking out on his wife every 5 minutes. So I went over to him after davening. He just got married. Where are you staying? In a hotel. And what are you eating? Where are you eating? You're eating here in Chabad? No, I'm eating in the hotel. So how do you get hot food? He says, oh, very simple. He said, Mamish, like, as if it was normal, and he's very proud of it. He said, I bought some hot plates in Walmart, and I'm going to give it back after the Shabbos. Well, that's mutter? Yeah, I asked the Rav, it's mutter. I said, I don't know what your Rav is. I don't think it's mutter. I'm not a Rav. I don't think it's a right. He starts arguing with me back, forth, the whole thing. That was the story. Then he writes me an email. I said, I hope I'm not embarrassing you in front of your kala, but I don't think, we have to be more makbid. I gave him this whole thing that, I said, you're still very makbid on the cheirim and this and that, but how come when it comes to Gedale and this and that, we're Michael. So he said, but they don't care, that's their policy. I said, the policy is that if you buy it and you don't like it, you give it back. Not buy lechatchila to give it back. No, I asked. I said, who did you ask? You asked the owner of Walmart. Who's the owner of Walmart? You asked the guy that works there. Kid, sir. I asked my Rav, he said it's okay. So he says like this, I met you in Oxnard with my wife while we were on vacation. It was Friday night at Chabad Oxnard, where we discussed buying a $40 hot plate to use on Shabbos and return after Shabbos. You explained that it was not entirely yashus to do so. We had a bit of a debate, whether it was acceptable or not, which I enjoyed. After Shabbos, reflecting on our conversation, I decided to be more cautious with matters of financial integrity. Fast forward to Sunday. I was at Warner Brothers studio when the man behind the counter offered me a $40 discount for being a California resident. I declined and asked him, if I said I was a California resident, would you ask for proof? He replied, no. But then I added, I've never met someone with such honesty. I'll give you the $40 discount. I was originally scheduled to leave California on Wednesday, but due to an emergency, I had to fly back on Monday morning. This left me no time to return the hot plate. Even though he said that he's going to be better integrity, he's still thinking about returning it. But he pushed it at a oinus. But oinus, he couldn't return the hot plate. I quickly returned my car to Hertz Rental, leaving the hot plate in the trunk. As I boarded the shuttle to my terminal, I saw the guy. They took everything from the trunk, including the hot plate. It was a reminder that no matter how I manage my finances, Hashem knows exactly where it will come from, whether it's from Walmart or Warner Brothers. Because what he's saying is that it's a $40 hot plate, but he got a $40 discount from Warner Brothers, so it kind of equals out. Thank you. 100%. Listen, if you think you're gonna gain anything by these kind of shtick, then you're not a maimin. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has his ways of giving parnasa, and that's not one of them. You don't have to steal or do shtick in order to make money, because if you do, it's just gonna come out of another place. And maybe he wouldn't have had that emergency that he had to go back. I don't know how this stuff works. Okay, that's just my 2 cents. Choila, the month sponsored by Binyomin Rosenfeld, Batzlach in business. The Yosef sponsored by safe and speedy return of all that. Rabbi said, don't worry about it. There's another shiur coming up, the Hebrew one, in 34 minutes. So we have to be out of here in 34 minutes. So everything's beseder. Parnas, a speeding return. I heard this Motzei Shabbos, 6 bodies were recovered. And then people are saying that they were alive just a few days ago. Okay, that's a different. Zechrya Ben Moshe Kelaty, Parnas Chodesh, Yedidya Pereira, thank you for your tefillos. בחסדי Hashem, Yehonathan Yehуда Ben Michael was granted bail to his home in the United Kingdom. Parnas Chodesh, Binyomin Rosenfeld with gratitude to Rabbi Biderman, Rabbi Eli, Gedale Fenster for his podcast, and Michael Safdie for dailyBitachon.com. Parnas Shavua, Ari and Atara Stawis, in honor of our 15th wedding anniversary and coming up on 2 years doing the Daf by Yedidya Kelaty. In memory of my late father, Levy Ben Moshe Kelaty, whose 37th yahrzeit was today. The neshama should have an aliyah and shkoyach again for the shkoyach. Parnas Hayoim, Dr. Marc Berkson, in honor of my father, Jerry Berkson's 88th birthday. Wow, shliv, gesund lange Jahren. Parnas Hayoim, happy 70th. For Barry Schleifer, love your family. We're proud of your Torah learning. Yavaldi, I love these. The birthdays are a lot better than the other ones. Campers at Aguda Midwest, in honor of Eli Glock and appreciation for giving the kids a great summer. Shkoyach, and the art of the month for Schus for Rebellion, the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. Our boys' side today is Daf Samach Zayin. We're starting a brand new Mishnah, which means that if you never learn Bava Basra in your life, it's okay. It's all brand new stuff. Says the Eli Mishnah. Daf Samach Zayin Amud Aleph on top. Ha-moicher is a chotzer. Mocher, yeah, what? No. Pillow. Okay, good. Ha-moicher is a chotzer. Mocher batim boirois shichen umaros. You sell a chotzer. Let's do a chotzer for a second. Where did we throw it in there? Somewhere. Oh, it's not in there? Okay. I thought he put it in. Kobe sent me a picture of it, so I thought. Okay, we'll show you this one. This is for later on the sugya. But the way it used to work in the time of the Gemara, there's a chotzer where it says chotzer, and the different houses would open up into this courtyard. They would all share the same courtyard. So the other day we were talking about if somebody sells a house, what's included in the house? Different things are included, different things are not included. What's included when a person says chotzer, he doesn't explain. Today, if you ever bought a house in America, I don't know how it works here, there's a whole, it's a one page, half the page, there's many items. This is washer and dryer, fan, refrigerator, stove, and you just check off AC unit and check. You have to do all the things. Because you have to be very specific. What if a person is not specific, doesn't describe what he's selling? It says chotzer. What's a chotzer? A lot of things in a chotzer. Ha-moicher is a chotzer. Mocher batim. It includes even the houses attached to the chotzer. Boirois. It includes the water pits, shichen u'ma'arois, the different types of a bar. It's elongated. It's in a cave. It includes everything that's part of a chotzer. Aval lo yisem metaltalin. It does not include movable objects. Okay, so it doesn't include the bikes in the chotzer and all that other stuff doesn't include, but things that are part of the chotzer, what's normal to be part of the chotzer, that's included. If he specified, he said, I'm selling you the chotzer with everything inside it, everything is included. You guys know about Nesivas Aaron? You know about Nesivas Aaron, no? Yeshiva, Nesivas Aaron, my brother was Yeshiva. So it's in Chotzer Strauss. I keep on saying this, but every time I go there, they talk about Chotzer Strauss. It's a piece of property they bought. It's called Chotzer Strauss. Why is it called Chotzer Strauss? There's a Chotzer, and there's houses that go. You don't really see them now so much, but there's like the dining room used to be a house, and this was a house. A lot of Gedalim grew up there. I don't know if Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld, but a lot of famous, this big Gedalim and Pubalim that were born there. And so in the Chotzer, you can see there's an oven there. There's they used to hang their clothes there. There's different things in the Chotzer. It's the best chotzer that I know of today that's similar to the time of the Gemara. It's different, but it's similar. So, if you sell a chotzer, it includes all these things, especially if you say everything that's inside it. So, soon we're going to see you know what? I'll just show you the pictures now so you don't get real bored. This, Lamashal, is a Beis Habad. You go around there, just stroll. One of the biggest things that you see is in this neighborhood also, you see those big round stones that are standing up and they have a hole in the middle. That's part of the Beis Habad. It's not really in this picture. It's a different process we'll discuss later. We're going to discuss this picture at length. That's the next Mishnah. So Beis Habad is where you press the oil. And a Beis HaMerchatz is a bathhouse. So this is, something like this. We'll see all the different things later on. But the point is, when I sell you a chotzer, I don't mean to sell you the mikveh that's attached to it. I don't mean to sell you the oil press. That's a different company. That's somebody's business. It has nothing to do with the chotzer. A house, yes. Beis Habad, not. So our from 3D animator, not the we have a non-Jew that does it. So I guess he took this literally. What does it mean? I sell you a chotzer, I only sell you the ear. The ear rides to the chotzer, so he did something like this. Because this is what grabbed him. It's not the real pshat, of course. Don't tell. He buys the chotzer and now gets to use the ear. That's pretty much it. It's for joking purposes only. No, don't learn pshat from this. Just a few days ago in Chicago, there were a few kids sitting there, and one of them was 11 years old, and his name was Siegel. That's all I remember. His last name was Siegel, and I asked him if, based on what we learned the other day, the cartoon, did he remember that halacha? And he said it clear. He said when you sell a house, you still have rights to go in there and use the basement. You remember from the cartoon. So sometimes it helps. Please don't get this stuck in your head because this is not the right shot. It means the airspace. It could be maybe close to that, but you don't get anything else. So in the time of the Gemara also, we had something interesting called batim apnimim, batim achitzonim. Imagine, and just not long ago, 80 years ago, you hear stories from people that went through the war. They used to live, before the war, they used to live families in one room. Like they would live in a little tiny space and, 2-3 families in 2 bedrooms. They shared the kitchen. They lived very dachkes. So you could see over here, the inner room, this guy, the inside where it says pnimi, the only way to get there is through the chitzoni, through the outer room, which is open to the chatzar. So you go into the chatzar, you walk into the chitzoni, say hello to the people there, and you walk into your back house. That's how they live. It's not a bedroom, it's a house. So the Gemara says, I tried it on my wife. She said, we have such ugly tile. I said, what do you mean ugly tile? It's brand new. The deer we bought is not, when we bought it was only 3 years old or something. She says, no. I said, your grandmother, she don't try that at home. It doesn't work. Grandma, I tried to tell her how her grandmother lived in Munkach with the outhouse that they shared with the whole neighborhood. It didn't work so well. It's nicer than your grandmother's outhouse. It has nice tiles in the house. No, she didn't want to hear from it. But we still have the same tiles. It includes the inner houses, the outer houses. What's Beis HaChulsais? So maybe I'll show you a video. It's not so. Listen, some of these videos, not negea. Here, I did something like this. It's a little bit exaggerated for a chatzar. It's a quarry, but we could do this also. This is how they manufacture glass, I guess. I was just very nispal from the blue paint. It's like some guy, his job is to clean it every day, it looks like. Or maybe this is the first day in use, I don't know. Does not look like a factory. This is a Beis HaChulsais. This is included. When you buy a chatzar, you get this whole factory. I'll show you something that's a little bit more negeya. Tell me when you're bored. Keep on going. With the computers, it includes everything. It's all part of the chatzar.
Is it going to make glass or just stay sand?
Here, this is going to make it. This is more of a base chut size, I think. And then get to this sugya. Here. Oh. I once made, I made a matzah oven like that. Actually, I just helped the guy make it. I didn't know what I was doing. And it's still there in Lincolnwood Shul. This guy's making glass from his chutzner. He found a bunch of dirt. You see? You like this? It's good. It's okay. See, you're bored. Mamshin is chutzner. It's sped up already. Shkoyach. He's from the new generation. A 3 second attention span. Who said speed it up? You? You? Okay, this is all from his chutzner. Verstehst? If anybody went to Venice, this is what they do in Venice. Also recommended after you do skiing and scuba diving.
Before the safari?
Before what?
Before the safari?
Safari is way later. You have to be at least 40. First goes skiing, then goes scuba diving, then goes Venice. Paragliding. Today I had a discussion with him on Shabbos about paragliding. He said, he did it, his son did it. I said, it's a shtickle dangerous. I told him about Rabbi Yedidya Pereira. We were learning once, like 5 in the morning in my house, and all of a sudden these guys are coming by our house with a power glider. So he looks at them, he says, the Michali Shabbos, the Chayiv Misa. A few days later, I saw in the news, some guy was paragliding, he died. I said, you cursed him. I cursed the guy. So I just said he's Chayiv Misa. I didn't say he should die. So I was talking I told Menachem the story today. He says, yeah. And I turned on the news today. A guy, a glider, hit a mountain in Netanya, right? We didn't say it, but he grabbed was doing it on Shabbos. He hit it today. I don't know that it's not also to do on Shabbos, is it? It's not a Maisa Shabbos, it's not very Shabbos-dik, it's Maisa Chol. But I don't know if he did what Isser did he do? It wasn't power, not a power. What? Oh, no, he's over the thing. He was using the chutzner. He was doing the. So here, if a person has a store in a chutzner, let's see. First of all, this is chitzon and pnimi, so you understand better what chitzon and pnimi is. Where's the store? Okay, here. So you see on the left, both, there's chanut, a little store open into the chutzner. So there's 2 types, the Gemara says. If it's open into the chutzner, then it's part of the chutzner. If it's open to the Rishus HaRabim, even though it looks like part of the structure. What if it's open to both? No, I thought he did something. Okay, here. This guy, it's open to both. The Rishus HaRabim, you can see on the backside, it says Rishus HaRabim in red, you see? Right over here it says Rishus HaRabim. It's open to Rishus HaRabim, also open to the chutzner. So what's the halacha? Nimkar Sima. Then it's part of the sale of the chutzner. You take out the word elu, you can take out both elus, but the point is Nimkar Sima. Only the open spaces of the chutzner. Okay, you don't get anything but the open space. If the store is open to Rishus HaRabim into the chutzner, you get it. It's part of the sale. Ask the Gemara, you don't get to sell, you don't get it. If most of the opening is legav to the inside, in other words, the main door of the store, the nice glass door opens into the chutzner, so it's part of the chutzner. The service door, the one that opens to the backyard, opens up into the Rishus HaRabim for trucks to pull up and load stuff. That's not part of the chutzner. But if the main glass door is on the Rishus HaRabim, he wants to get clients walking by on Rishus HaRabim, the service door is in the chutzner, then it's not part of the chutzner, it's part of Rishus HaRabim. Omar, Rabba or Rava, Dirta, What's a dira, Rabbi Isai, in Hebrew? A dira is a house. So there's three lashonos. This is not so meduyuk, but okay, whatever. Just for the three lashonos. There's dirta, chotzer, and darta. So it could be that darta is very similar to dirta. So that's a little bit of what's going on here. Chotzer is something else. So if he says dirta, I'm selling you a dirta, the kulam pligi the bati mashma. A dira means a house. So he's selling him a house. He pligi the darta without a yud. Marsava tarbitza mashma means more like a garden. Or marsava bati mashma. Ikidamri. Omer Rabba, Rava, Idamali Darta, the Kulama, Lepligi, the bottom mashma. Even Darta without a yud means a house. It's like a dira. It's a funny way of saying dira, Darta. It's like an American comes to Israel. I want a Darta. I want a Dara. I have a Dara. Okay, fine. It's like a dira. Fine. Oh, so what does chotzer mean? So we know it says in the pasuk. The chotzer, which is this, which is above me, that was taken from that on Friday. The chotzer, the Torah says 100 amma, which is 200 feet by 50 amma, which is 100 feet. 200 by 100 feet. That includes that tall structure called the heichal, which inside of it is the Kodesh HaKodashim. So you see that a chotzer is not just open space. Chotzer could include a dira, some sort of living space. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Kodesh Kodashim. So in Mela, it includes everything according to that man Omar. V'amar Rabba, Omar Rav Nachman, Bachalei chutzitz u'metzula. If he sold him the glass making factory and a metzula. What's a metzula? So here we have a guy doing metzula. Where was it? I saw it a second ago. Oh, I just want to see. Oh, this is Mitsula. What's he doing? Gold panning. That's a Mitsula. So if I sell you the glass making things, doesn't mean I'm selling you the gold. The Mitsula. Herzig becholtzitz, like kind of Mitsula. If a person made a kinyan on the sand, like kind of Mitsula, Herzig b'Mitsula, like kind of Chultzitz. Machalei Chultzitz u'Mitsula. He sold them both. If he did what's Herzig? Rabbi, you remember what Herzig means? Chazaka. What does Chazaka mean? Not the 3-year Chazaka. It means Rafak Bapurta. It means he made a little bit of a kinyan. He changed the lock, the doorway. He did something. If he made a kinyan on the Chultzitz, one has nothing to do with the other. They're two different items, two different things. So it's very easy today to understand what this means. In those days, what does it mean? A guy sold him 10 pieces of property in 10 different cities. Why would somebody have 10 properties in 10 cities? Today it makes a lot of sense. Let's say you have a hotel franchise. You own a bunch of stores, a franchise. So if I sell you 10 of them, one is in New York, one is in Lakewood, one is in Queens, one is in Bergenfield, one is in Bet Shemesh. You do a kinyan here in Bet Shemesh, you kind all of them. Why? So we have a yahrzeit in all of Shas. So the Gemara says, and that same halacha should apply that if I made a kinyan on the Metsula, which is the gold sifting place, the gold panning place, I should make the kinyan, it should work. If I make a kinyan on one hotel, I'm kind of another hotel 6,000 miles away. So why, if I make a kinyan on the glass factory, I'm not kind of the gold factory, which is 3 feet away? Why not? So the Gemara says, the Gemara says, we have a yahrzeit that the whole globe is one. All land is connected underground. So you make a kinyan one, you make a kinyan the other. But that's only if it's the same exact usage. Gemara answers, it doesn't work. The Gemara asks the question. We'll do it again with the lashon of a question. It only works. Why? Because it's one usage. So if you're buying 10 hotels, you do a kinyan of one, you change the door of one, you kind of all of them. Making glass is one thing, and panning for gold is something else. So even though you You need a condition. It has to be the same usage in order to use the yahrzeit of Safdie that it's one globe. Amud Beis. No. The Gemara says, yeah, if you are kind of one factory, you're kind of the other type of factory. Pshita. Now the Gemara says it's obvious. Before we said not, it doesn't work. Now the Gemara is saying it's so poshut. If I sell you 10 fields, you make a key in one. You make a key in all of them. So why do two different factories? Why shouldn't it work on two different factories? So what it says, the same also over there, you're using the concept of the earth is one, and Memela, you kind of one, you kind of all. But over here, since it's two different usages, one is glass and one is gold, so I would think that it doesn't work. Kamash Malon, that it does work. But it's a completely different svara. Before we said it doesn't work, and now we say it does work. Okay? The turning of the Daf is sponsored by Yisrael Sher. Where is he? Tell him I'm not going to read this anymore if he doesn't say it. I'm not reading it today. It's sponsored by Life Share Community, protecting families today before tomorrow's unexpected loss. He's in California, so we could say. What about this guy? He's in Baltimore. In honor of my uncle, Rebbe Chanan Pressman, who just started saying Shiva for his father, Zechariah, and Fishel. I'm just throwing that in. He didn't say that. In honor of my uncle, Rebbe Chanan Pressman, he didn't know that his uncle was going to say Shiva. And Fishel, and as a schos, for Akiva Simcha ben Fega, and Rivka Yehuda's Bas, Yabachayo. Zok Mishnah. So this is all technical stuff. Hamoicher Beis Abad. You came in one of these days that it's technical. Hamoicher Beis Abad. So how does it work? Maybe you didn't know this. How do you press olives to make olive oil? Does anybody know? If anybody thinks they know, raise your hand. Knew how?
You pick them, then you have to...
Yeah, you have to pick them. That's true. First you have to grow them. Then you pick them, yeah?
And you have to sort of separate the...
Crush them.
Crush them a bit.
Yeah. Oh.
Then you put the press on.
Oh. You almost got it. So let me show you. First of all, you have to crush them with one of these. A little bit bigger than this, but a mortar and a pestle. You got to crush it. Then you put it into one of those giant stones that turns, and it crushes it even more. With here, you do one of these. I don't have the video for it. Oh yeah, we do have video. Here. This guy, yeah? You see that stone? Well, here, I'll show you this one. It's better. And the step 3 is, after it's crushed by that stone, you can see the stone here in the video. You see the stone right over there? So that you see a lot in Eretz Yisrael. You see these giant stones with a hole through the middle. Why? Because there's a stick that goes through it. Here, this is the video of the... You first pick it, he said. Here, you pick it, you throw it into the thing. But I don't know if they crushed it yet. The step 1 of crushing with a mortar, they don't have here. But they turn this thing around and around. You have to wear that special thing he's wearing on his clothing. Oh, you see that? That's called a galgal. Then out comes, and the olive oil is in those sacks. They have nice olive oil. Okay. So, Hamoicher is Beis Abad. Now we go to this picture. This is what I sent Yoshi. I said, Yoshi, please make me one of these. Look at this. It's very, very... Everything in this picture, look at this, the next picture, boom. Again, like this. This is from pure Shchai to this. And now it's beautiful. Mocher Beis Abad, Mocher Hayam. Hayam is a vat. The vat is the metal thing. I'm going to get a laser here for a second. This guy, you see right over here? This arrow. Yam, it's what the olive oil falls into this. Eventually, it goes into this pit right over here. Mochar Sayam, so it's included. If you say I'm selling the olive oil factory, it includes the vat. Vesamamo. Mamo would be this guy. The thing that crushes the olives to begin with. Vesapsulois. Psulois are these Let's leave this up, Gary. This is a psula. These two beams, they're like two girls standing. In other words, they're identical, standing up. Fine. Avaloi mochars avirim. Avirim are these round pieces of wood that crush the olives. Why not? Because that's metaltalid. It's very movable. It's not part of the Beis Habad. It does not include the avirim. Vesagalgal. A galgal is this screw thing over here. I'll show you. The art scroll has a different picture. This is the art scroll's picture. And based on this video, it's almost the same thing. The art scroll is more meduyik than Pirush Chai, but I like Pirush Chai. Galgal is the screw that you see the two people in the video. You could see them turning the screw, and it puts pressure on the piece of wood on top and crushes the olives. So it does not include the galgal. Yes and no, because the kaira is also not included and it's attached. Vesa kaira. And it does not include the kaira, which is the giant piece of wood going across that puts all the pressure. And that's the main piece, that's the name of the Beis Habad. It was not Shomar Loi. If he says it includes everything, then everything is included. Lezo Beis Habad Mocher Sakayra. Lezo argues and he says it does include this guy, this long beam over here. Kaira. So now the Gemara explains. Yam tlafcha. It means this vat on the bottom. Mamol. Omer Rabba Mamol. Mafrachto. It's the pounder guy, this thing. Now, a lot of times in Shas, you see a name of a Manda Omar, and he has a similar name to his pshat in the sugya. Sometimes he says a pshat, and then for the rest of the Shas, we call him that name. So that's what I thought over here. I thought his name is Mamol, but it's really his father, because he said pshat in Mamol. He explained what Mamol is, but I saw a much better pshat. It says that the reason how Reb Abba knew what it means and why they asked him is because his father's name was Mamol. So he went and he always asked his father, why is your name Mamol? It's a weird name. He said, no, Mamol is mafrachta. It means, okay. So then when it came time to say pshat in the Mishnah, he was the one that knew pshat because he asked his father. Reb Abba Mamol. Psulois, or Reb Yochanan, kleinsois shel erez. It's these beams right over here, all the way to the left. That the kaira is attached to them. Avirim, what's avirim? Kivshay, it's these round guys that put the pressure on the olives. Galgal, chumarta, it's the screw right over here. Kaira. Kaira means kaira. So I'll tell you the famous Reb Baruch Ezrachi, what's his name? Baruch Mordechai Ezrachi. He used to say that state, what's pshat? We say, Sameach tesamach. What does it mean? Sameach tesamach, reim ha'ahuvim, kesamechacha yitzircha b'ganei demekedem. What's pshat? The pshat is, Sameach tesamach, reim ha'ahuvim, kesamechacha yitzircha b'ganei demekedem. That's what it means. What did he mean by that? He meant to say, like, pay attention to what you're saying. No. What's kaira? Kaira. So now nesarim cannot mean these guys right over here, but pay attention to the laser. It's these guys right over here. What are these guys doing here? They prevent the olives to jump out. So they're also pieces of wood that are removable. The vats. So over here, it does include these pieces right over here. And it does include vats, these guys. What's a rechaim tachtoino and el yoino? I wish these were in order. It's my fault. Rechaim, El Yoin, the island is coming. You got the mukdam, it's 4 dakot. Tachtoin is that stone on the bottom, Elyon is a stone that's upright and moves. So the bottom one is included. Why? Because it's attached to the ground. Avaloi Elyon, not the movable one. If he says it includes everything, it's everything. You skip If you remember, I can't show it to you again because it's too long, but in the video, these guys, they put the olives in these sacks, and the sacks went into the press, and it pressed the olives down. So those sacks are not included. It's also sacks, but they're made out of leather. It does include the kaira, the main beam. The main thing in the olive factory is the kaira. Says the Mishnah, the typical Beis HaMerchatz had 3 rooms. One that you walked into, one that you got dressed over there, and the other one is the actual mikveh room. Here, you can see over here, 3 rooms. Now, the way it worked is, you see how the mikveh is on stilts? Because that's how they would heat up. They didn't have boiler systems. They didn't have the sophisticated stuff that we have today. We take it for granted. You turn on the faucet and now comes hot water, this, that. You're not happy because you have to wait 35 seconds. So in America, in our house, we had a recirculating thing, so constantly circulated the hot water so that as soon as you turn on the faucet, but then it's not good because then you have to replace your pipes every 5 years. Okay, it's a different story. Over here, they'll put the fire underneath. So what happened? The whole mikvah became really, really hot. And when you stepped on the floor, you get burnt, kind of. So limachar esanisarim. Next picture, you can see there were slats of wood to protect your feet from getting burned from the hot floor. Ve'es hasafalim. It doesn't include the basins over there, those pails. Ve'es hablonios. Blonios could either mean the curtains or the towels. I like towels, okay? If I had to pick, I pick towels, but who's asking me? It's interesting. They want to prove from here because it's a little bit of a problem. Are you allowed to have a mikvah, a private mikvah in your house if you don't let anybody use it? Huh? So I had one of those. I grew up with one of those, and I had one of those here in Ramat Shemesh. And the Sefer Chassidim says it's also. So they want to prove in this Gemara that's not such a problem, that people used to have it, and then they say Rav Dushinsky had one, and the Chaim had one, all these different people had it, it can't be usher, it's impossible. But really it means Beis HaMerchatz that you schwitz there, it's not for schwitzing, it's this, okay, different things. Before you get a mikveh in your house, ayin sham. Huh? Nah, whatever, not a get. From the chutz, it's included in the chutz. You see that this, I didn't get the proof really, I'll tell you the truth. But it's negeh to the sugya. Bizman, because it says when you sell a chotzer, it doesn't include, it's actually the mission before. When you sell a chotzer, it doesn't include the merchatz. So you see people didn't have a merchatz, didn't have, whatever. Bizman, shomer loy hiv, chomash b'toich hari kulum churim, everything is included. Bengar or bengar loy mochar, loy sam a gura shal mayim, veloy oitzre shal eitzim. You could ask Gary, he's up there. He showed me, because he's in charge of the big mikveh here in town. And on top of the mikveh, they have a humongous like swimming pool that's full of rainwater. And that's where they when it rains, they grab the water. And during the year, they're able to always use rainwater and they have to refill a mikveh. So it does not include this water. Why? Because people would drink from it. The private people that own these meguras, they'll take water home. So it's not really part of the mikveh completely, it's also for the private use, so it's not included. The same thing. If I have wood, it's not included. Why? Because I use the wood for my own house. All the closets that you store wood, you store the turbans, because you put a turban on the guy's head so that his head wouldn't boil and bake. So I was learning the Chavrusa. My Chavrusa told me a ma'aser shoy about himself. I don't know if he wanted to say it, but whatever. He said that when he was Bacher in Yeshiva, you know, a lot of times you hear these stories. The Bacher in Yeshiva, they go into Yulim and they wear their Shabbos shoes and they slip down a mountain and they get hurt. You know, they don't come prepared. So here's a Bacher didn't wear a hat. So the Yam that, and he started fainting. So they brought him to the hospital. So the doctor explained to him, listen, if you cook up your head too much, then it could literally cook the brain. Okay, fine. So he's a little sick for 2 days. He says he went back to yeshiva, all of a sudden, tests and everything started becoming very easy for him. And something changed in his entire life, that his brain went, now he gets like hundreds on every dirshu test. He says before that he used to get 50s. And so I recommend the Olam to burn your brain a little bit in the sun. Don't overcook it because you could die. But if and don't undercook it. You got to be just right. Okay, ask him exactly how many minutes. It's kedai to go on a tiyul without a hat. So in those days, they don't want you to burn your head, so they put a turban around your head. So it includes the actual closet, but not the, what do you say, the product itself. No, there's a word for like when you buy a store buys a bunch of what? The merchandise, not the merchandise. We're almost done, Chavre. Kimat gomrim kan. Ves beis hasefalim, ves beis havilois. The closet for the pails and for the linen closet. Avalois and asar matzah doesn't include the wood. Below come matzah, not the turbans themselves. Below fall matzah, not the pails. Below vilois matzah, not the towels. If he said those words that everything is included, so that's very interesting because it doesn't include all the water. It doesn't matter if we're in the rainy season, in the winter, in the summer. The loy base and not the place where you store your wood. If you hear this is a different lashon. If you say kol mash b'toicha is one thing. But if you say the Chol Tashmishov, it's even more, it includes more. All its usages. Everything is sold, everything is included. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful week, a good davah. Yishkoich, all the guests for coming.